Welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Chloe. I am a second year psychology student at the University of Northampton, and I have decided today that I'm going to talk you through all the books that I read in March. So without further ado, let's just get right into it because I don't want this to be too long. So the first book that I read was Philosophy. I listened to this on audiobook and I gave it 2 stars. I didn't, again, think that it was very helpful for me. It would be so helpful for other people, but I don't think I was properly paying enough attention to it. And also, I just think normally with a book like this, if I owned it, I would like highlight bits and things like that. And obviously, I was listening to it on audiobook, so that was quite hard. But yeah, it was only like 2 or 3 hours, so it wasn't very long at all, and I would really recommend it. I think when I go through a period of things all going wrong to me and I just want to be in that and try and fix things as well, I will definitely go back to this because I think it would be super helpful at that point. I just don't think I read it at the right time for me. The next book I read was Twisted Games by Anna Huang. This is Bridget and Reese, I don't know how you say it. Reese Larson, I think. Really enjoyed this one. This was a 3.5 stars for me. I feel like, again, I don't know if I said this in the last one, but with the Twisted series, I feel like I get to like hear, and that's when they actually get together. Like, I feel like they're not together for very long. Although this one I would say was a bit better for that. Yeah. I loved kind of how obviously these two characters were quite big in the first one, but also at the end of Twisted Love, Alex like mentions seeing them on TV and like recognising that there's something between them, and then obviously this is the second book, so I really like that. Yeah, really good, really enjoyed this one. Then the next book that I read was Welcome to America, and I'll be honest, I do not really remember this book. I remember that there's this girl and her dad, I think, dies, and I think she blames herself and she decides kind of to stop speaking, and it's kind of like a struggle within the whole family and them trying to get her to talk, I think, but I can't really remember the ins and outs of it. I did give it 4 stars at the time, but with the fact that I can't remember it, I'd probably give it 3.5. It was really good, like a really good story, and I remember reading it and I remember getting to the end and being like, oh my gosh, wow, but I just can't remember that much about it, which tells me that it's not that great anyway. But I would say really quick read, and I did enjoy reading it when I was reading it. I remember that much, but yeah. The next one I listened to an audiobook, and it's I'm Glad My Mum Died by Jeanette McCurdy, and I had no idea the things that this girl went through. Gave this 5 stars because, again, with near enough every memoir I give it 5 stars, like memoir, biography, any kind of thing that's telling someone's story I give 5 stars because I don't feel like it's my position to judge that. It's obviously what they went through, which was so intense for her, and I couldn't fathom it because this is a girl that I grew up watching on TV, and like you hear about everything that she went through, and it's just crazy. I really feel for her. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. I feel like I'm really speaking really quickly and I feel like I'm really rushing this, but like I don't mean to be, so apologies if it comes off that way, but I just don't really know. Who knows? The next book I read, I listened to an audiobook, but I also do have the physical copy and I kind of like read along with it. So that was Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton. This man, again, 5 stars. It's a memoir and biography or whatever. I don't even know. Someone please tell me what classifies as what. I don't know. I honestly have no idea, but yeah, read this. I feel like there wasn't as much in it about Harry Potter as I thought there was going to be, considering like the link and everything, but then I feel like that was probably for marketing, which props to Tom for doing that. But hearing about his upbringing and his family and his brothers and just everything, love this guy. Yeah, really enjoyed this, and I think it was super relatable as well, and kind of speaking about mental health and things like that. Yeah, this I would recommend reading, especially if you did kind of watch Harry Potter and you enjoyed it and things like that. The next book I read was a psychological thriller, and I'll be honest, I loved this book. I instantly recommended it to everyone that I know, and I really would recommend it. It's technically, like it says on the cover, it's a crime novel, but I considered it more of a psychological thriller. It is Strange Sally Diamond. Now this book, I don't even know what to tell you, because it's about this girl and she grows up and she clearly struggles with some sort of like learning difficulty, or like some sort, like she has something, but it's never really said exactly what she has, I don't think. But her dad is like a psychologist and her mum is, I think, like a nurse or something, I don't know. So she's like never seen a proper doctor before, barely ever leaves the house, and then her mum dies. That's like kind of before the story takes place, and then her dad dies and she basically burns his body because she took what he said for literal facts. Like he said, burn my body when I die, and she did it not realising that that was wrong. And then there's basically this whole case against her, and everyone kind of calls her a freak and everything, and it's kind of her development over the whole period, and there's some shocking revelations in there. Please, if you're going to read this though, do check the trigger warnings beforehand, because there's quite a few different things in here that, yeah, it just wouldn't be ideal for everyone. But that said, this was a really good book, and I think the way that it was written was so nice. 4.25 stars, although I think it should probably be a 5, because I did really enjoy it and I remember virtually all of it. I think I just don't want to say too much so I give any spoilers, but seriously, go read it. It is so good. The next book I read was Siege and Storm, which is the second book in the Shadow and Bone series. So this one, and this wasn't my favourite in the series, to be honest. I gave this 2 stars. I just didn't enjoy it that much. I just didn't find it that great. It just wasn't a bit of me. It felt like a bit of a drag. I was kind of just reading for the sake of reading. It never seemed like anything was kind of happening. I think this book could have been taken out of the series, and I think the first and third would be sufficient. I feel like it didn't need to be a 3-book series. So for me, it was just a bit of a drag, obviously. Yeah. It just wasn't my favourite book in the series, so yeah. And then the final book I read this month is What You're Looking For Is in the Library, which again is a Japanese book originally and was translated. I kind of love these books because I always feel like they have a point behind them and they always have like a meaning, and honestly would strongly recommend this. I read this because I work in a library. That's mainly the reason that I picked it up, but I'd seen loads of people talking about it and it was so good. It did live up to the hype. I think it was following maybe 4 different people, and they all go into this same life story and they're all given something by this librarian and they all learn something. But yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like this story and most of the stories that I've read that are translations have a point. They have something for you to learn and take away from them, which I really like. And I think is quite unique, because a lot of the books that we read in fiction now just don't have that takeaway. Even if there is kind of something to learn, it's just not really spoken about that much. But yeah, anyway, so I gave that 4 stars, and that is all the books that I read in March. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon for a brand new video. Bye!